If you want to make a really easy $3,000 to $5,000 every single month side hustle, 9x12 postcard is definitely for you. Filling up an initial card, which is a big 9x12 postcard. I don't have one on me. You can look through my YouTube and see plenty of examples of it. It's a big postcard that you get other businesses on, and you send it out to the community, 5,000 to 10,000 people, and you make $3,000 to $5,000 or more profit. That's what the 9x12 postcard system is, if you're not aware. The goal of it is to be able to repeat it every single month, to have advertisers on it and saying, yes, I'm on. I want to get in front of 10,000 people. Not to have to go fill spaces every single month from scratch. There's nothing worse than putting out a card, spending a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks getting all these advertisers, then having to do it again. So this concept is really, really important if you want to keep these cards going on autopilot, to where you don't have to go fill every space from scratch every month. You're basically just getting people saying, yes, put me on again, put me on again, put me on again. There's one thing that you have to understand, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do a fancy editing. I'm in front of Canandaigua Lake and the Finger Lakes. The last thing I want to be doing is editing fancy video. But I do want you to understand this concept. And that's about selling exposure versus response. I made this mistake. It was really bad. You get so hopped up and you're like, yeah, I want to make the best postcard out there. I want to give people these great deals. I want every single ad to have fantastic deals. I don't want anyone getting this card and perceiving it as junk mail. I want to make sure these are great offers. You sell the spaces and you strong arm them into giving big coupons and discounts. And I was even turning people down. I was even saying, okay, I don't like this 5% off, 10% off. I don't want you on the card. And I go find someone else, because I was so scared that people would get the card and they wouldn't like it, that it wouldn't be perceived as very valuable, or that the business wasn't going to get very good response. I couldn't tell them they were going to get all this response if they weren't putting a great deal on it, or great offer, incentive. So it made the process very challenging, because you're strong arming and you're only putting ads out for businesses that will put strong offers, or you're telling them they're going to get all this response. They don't want to re-up. They think you lied to them. They didn't get good response, whatever. Now you have a problem. Now you have to start from scratch, and then you have to find more businesses. It gets incredibly difficult. You have to sell on exposure, not response. This is very counterintuitive, because I know you have great intentions. Most of us have the best intentions, especially if you're marketers, and you want to provide like the best response possible. But the reality is you can't. You don't have a crystal ball. You cannot predict the response of any advertiser. You can't guarantee, you can't predict. You don't know. Their reputation might be terrible. You don't know what offer they're running. You don't know their reputation, their credibility. They might be a brand new business. They may not be known. You don't know. You have no clue. The timing. There's so many factors that are completely out of your control. You have no control. All you can do is provide a great piece of real estate. That's all the 9x12 postcard really is. It's a really good piece of real estate. It's a hot piece of real estate. Only one business per niche can get on it. It goes to 10,000 or 5,000 or 15,000, however many you're doing. Great neighborhoods, local residents. And you can get it into their mailbox, where it's seen, it's touched, it can be stored, passed around, it's visual, it's tangible. There's a huge amount of benefits. You're selling a really, really, really good piece of real estate, an exclusive piece of real estate. You cannot dictate what kind of response any advertiser is going to get. All that will do is create really poor expectations, because you're telling them they're going to get X amount of response. And then if they don't get that, it looks like you just under-delivered. You look stupid. You told them one thing, they expected another. You can't control this, okay? You got to get it out of your head that you can give them any kind of like indication of success. When someone asks me, how much success am I going to have on this? What's the percentage? I don't know. You're a restaurant, or you're the most popular restaurant in town, you'll probably have a lot. Are you not really that well known? You may not have as many as the most popular. They got to get to know you. I don't know. Every situation's different. So don't sell on response. I once sold a jeweler who did newspaper advertising. All she did was newspaper advertising, I think TV. I sold this jeweler that was brand new, and I told her she was going to get like 3% response or something, because I was new at it. I just thought that was what was going to happen. It was easy to sell ads. So she's expecting like 300 customers, She told me that she has never gotten any response from anything. She's like, I put these ads out. I've never done advertising where I can actually tell that people are coming in from it. And here I am telling her she's going to get 2 or 3% response. She's going to have 200 to 300 people coming in. Just stupid of me at the time. And then the mailing goes out, and she gets 5, I think. If I remember right, it was 5 responses. And she told me, she goes, I got 5. and she didn't want to redo it. And then I was like thinking, I'm like, she told me she's spending thousands of dollars on all this other advertising and never gets any response, has never gotten any trackable response. Yet I just got her 5 and she's disappointed. And that was because I had set the expectation so high, which was ridiculous. Math didn't work out. It was just a stupid thing to say, that she was underwhelmed. Even though this was the first time in 30 years or whatever she's ever done advertising that has gotten her response, yet she was underwhelmed because I had told her, given her such high expectations. So I started really realizing at that point and doing some thinking and saying, what am I doing? I'm turning down lawyers. I was turning down a mattress company. I was turning down lawyers. I was turning down a plastic surgeon. I was turning down insurance, these lawyers that wanted workers' comp stuff. I don't want you on the card. I don't want that. And I had to do some thinking to arrive to this, that one, I shouldn't be giving people higher expectations than I can provide, because it's just stupid and it just sets you up for failure. It sounds great at first because you can sell spaces easy, but in reality, it's just, I'd rather have them overwhelmed. I'd rather have them not expecting anything. And then they get 5 responses and they're like, holy crap, this is the first advertising that worked. So I realized that, but I also thought all these other ad reps, I had talked to an ad rep that I was still running my window business at the time, and I talked to an ad rep who I was there to do an estimate on replacement windows, because I had a home improvement business, and he was an ad rep, and he was selling like $1 million a year. He was telling me in TV, right? He was a TV rep for. I'm like, what? I'm like, this guy, and then I was doing the math, and I'm thinking, like, here's these agencies and these media companies. There's people selling outdoor billboards. They sell these packages. They sell millions a year in advertising. They're collecting billboards at $10,000 a month from businesses, and these businesses don't care about response. They could care less. It's not what their goal is. They're not putting up the businesses that are putting up, the car dealers, the plastic surgeons, the chiropractors, the insurance agencies, the workers' comp attorneys, divorce attorneys. They're not looking to put some money into something and see an instant result. They're dumping huge amounts of money, every niche under the sun, restaurants too, everything, just for exposure. There's no tracking. There's no, did this work? Did this provide? There's none. And here are these ad reps making $100,000 a year in commissions, generating millions of dollars in advertising revenue, and none of it is response-based. None of it. So I'm thinking, like, I had failed to understand this for the first year or two. I want people to advertise on it that continuously advertise it. I don't have to stay awake at night wondering if this ad got them business that I'm not even responsible for. You're not even responsible for it. You cannot take a business that may suck, that may not be well known, that may be a very high ticket purchase, and then just put it in people's hands and expect that it provides this huge result. That's on the business. Some businesses don't like to run strong offers. Some businesses have to, like a real estate agent. A real estate agent cannot spend $300, get on the card, $500, whatever, and get 10 listings. Like, the math doesn't work that way. Any of these high ticket items just require time. The workers' comp injured, someone slips and falls or whatever, breaks their frickin' butt. They think of that attorney because they saw him a million times. They want to sell their house. They think of this person because they saw him a bunch of times. That's how brand advertising works, and it does work. This gives you a chance to get some of that money. It sounds bad, but just get some of that money, but to provide a really great platform. All the other marketing things that you sell, like SEO and digital, it's all focused completely on results. Like, no one dumps money into SEO or pay-per-click over time without seeing the conversion rates and knowing how many, like, as individual rogue marketers like we're stuck having to always deliver on results. Everything is always results, conversions, ROI. All these large media companies, TV, radio, billboard, like, they're soaking up all this huge money, getting it for months, years on end, and they never have to deliver any kind of results. So the 9x12 postcard actually puts that power of branded visibility, of branded space, of real estate, just like a billboard, just like a TV. It's a hot piece of real estate in our hands, the independent marketers, where people advertise on it and they don't question how, because there is no tracking. They know that it's going to take time. And these are people with big pockets. Another thing that helped me realize it was a bakery. The guy liked me just for my hustle. He threw, I don't know, $500 or something on the ad, and he got a ton of response, got an insane amount of response. I don't remember how much it was, but it was a lot. And I'm like, you ready to go for the next one? He's like, nah, he's like, next time it gets slow, we'll do another one next time it gets slow. What? And I started to realize that a lot of business owners, even if you deliver high response, they may not just keep doing it because they may say, okay, we're busy now. We don't need, well, next time we're not busy, we'll use that. That's what goes through a lot of business owners' brains. So selling spaces on exposure allows you to tap into this to much bigger pockets. They want to be the only one, and they just want to lock down that space. What that gives you is the ability to continuously put out cards every month without having to resell spaces or be up at night wondering if you delivered this high response for someone when you don't even have the power to do that. The last thing I want to leave you with is that I don't think it's a good idea to put junk on the card. So I don't want you to perceive this as I'm just going to get nothing but lawyers and dentists and chiropractors and stuff. Yeah, otherwise you'll have a val pack. You do want the card to be valuable. Someone's getting it saying, yeah, let's keep this. All you have to do, I talk about this in my mastery course too. If you haven't picked that up, my 12 Mastery is my 5-part installment course that walks you from A to Z. You'll be making $3,000 to $5,000 at the end of the month. You'll be making $3,000 to $5,000 profit in a month's time, and actually a few weeks' time. You just follow the steps. What you should do is just get a few really good, attractive ads on the card. That's all it takes. You don't have to have 100%. You got 17 ad space on the card. All 17 don't have to be the most unbelievable, huge discounts and deals and restaurants and things that everyone loves. The whole backside can be a dentist. The whole backside can be a lawyer. Doesn't matter. As long as you have 2 to 3 ads, like 20% of that card, a popular restaurant, a really good deal on something that people buy every day, a small handful of ads that are truly really attractive business, things that people do, pizzeria, ice cream, oil change, that will give it the card enough value for it to stick. The rest just rides on. I use that as a selling point when I'm talking to like businesses that don't always get instant response, like realtors and plumbers and electricians and house builders, deck builders, things that require some higher ticket, more emotional buying, not as frequent buying. I explain this to them. It may take a few runs for this to start popping off or for you to start noticing people are calling in and saying, I seen you on this. But your ads will get a ton more exposure because they're riding along with things that people really like. They're riding along on a platform that has the pizza deals, it has the oil change deals, and people hang on to this whole card and they see it a bunch of times and it sits there, sits on a coffee table, sits on a shelf, they put it up on their fridge. It rides along over and over and over, so people are seeing you constantly and not just throwing it out or just tuning past or scrolling past. It's riding along with these other really good ads so that when they, all of a sudden their toilet is freaking clogged up, they're thinking of the plumber because they've seen you a whole bunch of times. Every time the freaking mattress starts getting squeaky or their backs for you blow their freaking back out, you call the chiropractor. I hope that made sense. It's really the key to having cards that continuously turn over with very minimal selling again. You don't want to be selling these cards from scratch every single time. You want that easy $3,000 to $5,000 or more. Check out the 9x12 Mastery course if you haven't.